Over 2 decades of sports radio dominance in Utah.
My favorite.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Don't miss your chance to win big every week on The Zone. Coming up on Win Ticket Wednesday, win Fastness VIP tickets to Nightmare on 13th. One location, 2 haunted attractions, Nightmare on 13th, where Halloween lives. Get $10 off nighttime attractions by using the discount code ZONE. Listen to Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. DJ PK, we're joined now by Kevin Graham to talk a little football. Kevin, good morning. Kevin, you will never guess where we are.
I heard Spanish Fork at a beautiful air show that apparently is happening. Did I hear that properly? Yeah. I listen to you guys,
Yes.
but, I want to make sure I want to see what's going on in your world. So,
Streaming around the globe. We can't keep any secrets from Kevin Graham.
No.
We're literally
that's good.
on the tarmac.
Yeah, well, are you really? That's cool.
Here comes a plane right now. Yeah, we're on the tarmac.
That's fun. Yeah, I got to fly a plane once when I was in Utah. I remember I think it was a client thing, where people can go up in a plane, and they actually I was flying around the Wasatch Mountains. I could not believe they actually let me do that. That was really weird, to be honest. So yeah, but that's good. Don't get hit by a plane. That won't be fun. So it's good. Try to avoid that.
It's always been a general rule of mine.
Life goals: don't get hit by a plane.
Yeah.
Try to avoid planes when you're broadcasting on a tarmac. Yes, that would be good. So, well, good. I twist and shout is good, guys, because I was definitely twisting and shouting last week when I missed our weekly appointment because I had a kidney stone, and I will say I was not shouting words that I could say on the radio. So yeah, that was fun. So it's painful enough to go on the air with you guys every week, but delivering a kidney stone is definitely more painful. All right, I will put that out there. That was not a pleasurable experience. So they compare it to childbirth.
So you didn't get an opportunity to watch Utah Texas Tech?
Oh no, I watched that. Yeah, that was painful too. Yes, I mean that did not help help the situation for Ute fans. But yeah, I did watch that. Now, of course, I watched it not knowing Dampier was hurt. Of course, Kyle, scooting past the rules there and not letting anybody know until after the fact. But yeah, and by the way, I get what Whittingham was doing on Monday. I think he was trying to protect Dampier, but I think probably ticked off a lot of Ute fans. It also then kind of laid out an excuse of why they lost to Texas Tech, but it wasn't just Dampier. I mean, Texas Tech's tough, man. I mean, they have the best team money can buy, and and these Texas teams, man, they, and I know, everybody was kind of surprised with the domination of the line, but I'm telling you, man, you're throwing money at some of these guys, and especially Texas teams. And I spent 5 years in Texas. They're big boys. They're gonna bring it to you, especially when they're each making $1 billion a year. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised Utah lost. I was surprised of how they lost. I thought it would be a better game, a closer game. So that one kind of caught me off guard a little bit. And it's, I hate to say this, it was kind of the Whittingham way too. And it was kind of more conservative than I wanted to see. And that was a tough loss, but you're in a good spot still. Just run the table, hope for the best, get some help, and you could still be in the Big 12 title game, with a shot to get into the playoffs.
You got any expectations of any upsets this week, or Utah and BYU win and Utah State loses at Vanderbilt, and you can see it clear as day on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, I think Utah should beat West Virginia. Obviously, that's my home state. Don't take a shot at it with Southern. There is no Southern Virginia, PK, in West Virginia. It's just West Virginia, all right? We have West Virginia and we have Marshall. Those are the only two D1 programs we have in my home state. So West Virginia, they're playing at home. That's a raucous environment. Rich Rod, I mean, they played great against Pitt, but that was the backyard brawl, and obviously Rich Rodriguez had a lot to play for because the last time he coached West Virginia, it was a game against Pitt, and all they had to do was beat Pitt to go to the national championship, and they blew it, and then he skated out of town in the middle of the night to go to Michigan, and the whole state hated him for it. But so it's not a gimme just because of that atmosphere. And West Virginia, though, it's got, 70-some new players or something? I mean, it's just – but Utah should win. They should win that game. And BYU definitely should win, too, although this is really the first road test. East Carolina is only a couple hours away. If I didn't have the kidney stone, I actually was thinking of going up and watching that game from where I'm at now, living in the Charlotte area. So now they're actually having a real road environment. So we'll see how Bachmeier, Grizzly Bear, whatever you guys are calling him, can play in that game. So they should win those two. I mean, both those teams should win. I think TCU Arizona is going to be an interesting one tonight. Both teams.
Arizona State, not Arizona.
Oh,
West South Virginia, dude.
I'm sorry.
Hey, there's Arizona State, and Northern Arizona. There's only 3 schools in that state.
Oh, goodness.
I know you got me on that one.
So right now.
All right, TCU Arizona State is going to be an interesting one tonight.
Yeah.
But
I just hope the Arizona State Wildcats show up.
Then you got Arizona, Iowa State tomorrow is what I meant. And that's, that one, I don't know. Iowa State should win that at home. Arizona State at home. TCU's tough, though. So, and then, the big ones tomorrow. The late window tomorrow is going to be really fun for college football. There's 4 really good games going on, and that's, 3:30 Eastern, 1:30 your guys' time. So I don't know. Is that a plane in the background, am I hearing?
Yep.
Helicopter.
Oh, it is a chopper, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We've been doing this almost 25 years, and we've never once done the show on the pavement of a runway, and here we are.
Really good for sound quality, when you're doing a radio show to have
There's a first for everything, man.
Planes buzzing by.
That's real life.
Awesome. I know, man. That's pretty awesome, actually. I'll give you guys credit for that. So to answer your question, DJ, I think Oregon will beat Penn State, even though they're playing at Penn State. I think they're the better team.
Ooh, you do, huh?
Ole Miss, watch for Ole Miss at home against LSU. But, man, Ole Miss never wins the big game, it seems like. So that one's going to be interesting. I do think Georgia's going to hold against Alabama. Those are the biggies, in my opinion, for tomorrow. But it should be a great weekend. I mean, we're finally getting some really good, I think, national headline ranked teams playing each other.
Yeah, right.
So I'm excited for that.
Starting to get in the heart of the season. Yeah,
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
4 games in.
You know what's funny?
Let's bring it.
Right, and here we are the rest of the way. And this is the last week of the month, and then we're into October and all that stuff, and it's time to go. I like what you said about Utah, about how win, beat, whatever directional Virginia it is. They got a bunch of them in Louisiana.
The whole
apparently
state named West Virginia, by the way. It's a state, all right? I mean, we were on the good side of the Civil War, all right? I mean, we were basically annexed to help the Northerners back in the day. But, yes, we are a state.
Yeah, okay. So that directional Virginia,
yes.
that we expect them to win. And I like what you said, that they'll be 4-1, 1-1. But we've been, we do it just like kind of a informal man on the street. You can't help. I go golfing. I get people find out what I do. They ask. The neighbor walking his dog last night. And a lot of Ute fans in the neighborhood too. BYU fans too, obviously. And there does seem to be an air of negativity surrounding Utah. And I guess I'm not really sure why, because nobody goes undefeated these days in leagues. It's so very difficult, and you're playing 9 games. And I get that you did get blown off a little bit, but you also played probably the worst game you've played in a long time, excluding last year, when you had your presumptive starting quarterback in, let's put it that way. But I still think there's enough for this team to compete at the level that gives them a shot. Now, I didn't have them going to the title game. I have Iowa State and Texas Tech, so I guess for me it's easier. I don't have that emotional investment. But I wasn't completely surprised. But on the flip side, I don't think the season is far from over.
No, and I think you got to be used to that, and I'm surprised Ute fans aren't used to that after coming from the Pac-12 and playing in the in a quote unquote big boy conference. I mean, one loss doesn't put you out, and especially now when you got the playoffs, you just got to win. You got to win out now. I mean, now you have no room for error. That's your biggest problem. But now just win, and I get it. I mean, last year was a terrible year. There was high expectations last year before all the injuries derailed everything and things went south. But no, you have a chance still. You just got to win out and get a little help. And then, if Dampier's fully healthy and if things go your way, maybe you face Texas Tech again in the Big 12 championship and you get a chance to redeem yourself. So it's not over. I just think, recent history is probably Ute fans, and I mean Ute fans can say it for themselves. But just as I watch, I just think there's probably a lot of disappointment because that was a very hyped game. 10 a.m. start, which by the way is still ridiculous. Yeah. But I mean, and national exposure and all that, and everybody was just ready to roll and ready to go, and all these national pundits were picking Utah to win. So I get the disappointment. But to your point, PK, you're exactly right. Take the fandom out of it. Sit back, look at it. You have a chance. And you just got to win now. You have no room for error. You have to win the rest of your games.
I think there's a lot of hangover going on. And I don't think it's just last year. You fans got used to winning at a pretty good clip. 4 conference title games in 5 years. And the one you weren't at was a bizarro 2020 season. They only played 5 games anyway. That thing was a mess. So they're used to winning all the time. Do you know what the Utes' record is in the last 30 games, Kevin Graham?
Under 500.
I do.
Yes, under 500. Am I right?
No, 16 and 14.
Conference.
Just barely above.
16 14.
Close.
Okay, barely. Yeah. Wow, just 2 games over
16
500.
16 and 14 over 30 games. that goes back. That streak starts with the Rose Bowl loss to Ohio State. So that's definitely cherry-picking some numbers there. If you leave that out, just over the last 2+ seasons, okay, so it's 16 and 13.
Yeah.
And they're used to – they remember the good times.
Yep. No, and I 100% agree with you, DJ. And like when you and I, we were talking earlier this week conspiring against PK, you brought up a good point, and you're exactly right. Kidding, PK. We would never conspire against you. I'd be on your side. So, but I would say that Ute fans, and you brought this point up, DJ, and I 100% agree with you. You are in a different conference now. When you were in the Pac-12, you were the brute. You were the bully. You could line up and you can punch those teams in the mouth, and those little Pac-12 West Coast pansy schools couldn't handle it. Now you're in the Big 12. All right. So in the Big 12, you got Texas schools like Texas State, who, by the way, recruit Texas, and they have a lot of money now to spend. TCU. You got West Virginia, who will be very physical as Rich Rod builds his program back. You got teams, Iowa State, Midwest schools that are in there that you can't punch them in the mouth anymore. They're going to punch back, and we saw that in the Texas Tech game. So Ute fans who thought, we're rolling in the Pac-12 and we're doing great, well, sorry, you're now in a conference that maybe doesn't have as many high glamour schools as the Pac-12 have. There's obviously no Oregon in the Big 12. But you have schools that will fight back. They're not going to be intimidated by the fact that you have a great offensive line and a great defensive line. So you're going to have to make some changes, meaning you're still going to have to be tough, and you will be good defensively. You always will as long as Whittingham's there, and then the assumption is Morgan Scalley will carry that on. But you also need to put a damn offense on the field that's going to score points. And the hope is that this is the offense. Whether Dampier was hurt or not, I don't know, but facts are facts. Dampier and Beck were offensive coordinator and quarterback at New Mexico last year. That is not the same quality of conference that you're getting in the Big 12. So they got to make the adjustments. Dampier has to be healthy. Whittingham has to get his hands off the offense and take a little more risks and throw the ball down the field and be more aggressive and then still play great defense. You do that, then sure, you can be a Big 12 champion again. Or for a first time.
I think we all had BYU contending up. Yeah, we got you. Contending up until the Retzlaff news broke, right? And then get this, Kevin. This is so crazy. So indicative of college football. The kid who's your starting quarterback was not in your program on May 1st. Was not even on the radar Not coming home from a mission, not coming home early from a mission, or any of that stuff that happens. He was a kid who wasn't even in your program, and now here he is your starter, right? So we're dealing from that perspective. A first-year freshman, we all know that. He had spring ball at Stanford. But my line of thinking is, so with that in mind, I knocked him down a few pegs, right? And I know he had the great season last year, but I'm figuring maybe, in the 5th or 6th range would be a nice season, given that, and I knew all along, or anticipated all along anyway, that they would start a first-year freshman. Now, with that in mind, he goes out tomorrow night and looks really good at Colorado. How much does that raise your expectations for the rest of the season for the Cougars? And then next week they've got that directional Virginia school coming in on a Friday night who they should beat easily, obviously.
Yes, obviously. Yeah, being at home, yes, they will be West Virginia. Again, West Virginia. But, almost heaven, West Virginia. Which, by the way, you guys know the story on the John Denver Almost Heaven, West Virginia song, right? That when he wrote that song, he was in actually Western Virginia. He wasn't actually in the state of West Virginia, but West Virginia, because we have nothing else, we adopted the song. So anyways, but you know what? Here's where BYU fans, in my opinion, have to kind of keep even keel. Don't be Utah fans and go down in the dumps because you lose. You should beat Colorado. If Grizzly Bear goes out there and has an outstanding game, that's awesome, but it's still Colorado. I mean, What's the old saying? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Well, Colorado has 3 quarterbacks. So I don't know what that means. You must have negative quarterbacks. So you don't get so excited with beating Colorado. Just go out. But if you beat them handily, that's actually what you should do if you're going to be a Big 12 contender. That would be awesome. You should beat West Virginia. You got games on the horizon that I think will really be the big test. So, BYU can be a major factor. Surprisingly with a freshman quarterback. It's just how is his development going to go, and can he looked good against East Carolina, but it's East Carolina. Can he continue to elevate his game week by week and not make mistakes? I think that's the biggest thing because, freshman quarterbacks and younger players, they're going to invariably make mistakes. Can he limit those mistakes and just continue to get better week by week? And if he does, you never know. You never know what's going to happen by the end of the season.
Yeah.
See,
so you got them beating Colorado and then beating Western Michigan or Western Virginia next week.
Yes, I do. Yes. So, and who do they got after that? I haven't looked at their schedule.
So you're down on Western Virginia. You got Western Virginia starting 0-2.
I got West Virginia losing on the road.
They already lost to Kansas.
Yes, they got blown out by Kansas. Well. They beat Pitt at home, but then got blown out by Kansas. And Pitt was a big rivalry game and all that. So, and then definitely a letdown against Kansas. But they are playing. It's not going to be a pushover against – Utah's not going to get a pushover against West Virginia, I think, this week because I do think that they're going to play better at home. But they should win that game. So, but yeah, then BYU will be West Virginia next.
We got a plane coming by, Kevin. It's 97.5 the zone.
Duck.
Kevin, you could swear right now. We wouldn't have any idea. You and your bad attitude and your filthy mouth, we wouldn't hear a word.
And see, you yelled at me for yelling all these years. I told you it would come in handy one day.
You were training. I didn't understand. I didn't have the vision. That one day we'd be sitting on the tarmac while a plane went by.
Oh, it's right over our heads. I got to scoot down.
Very slowly.
I would say this, guys. If you hear a whistling
sound.
Faster!
It looks like some wealthy BYU fans flying to Boulder.
No, you know what it is? It's a wealthy UCLA fan going to come in and talk to Kalani.
Kalani would be great for that
plane
job,
just
by
spun
the way.
around. The plane was going north. It spun around, faced south, sat there for a minute, spun around, it's headed north again. But as long as it stays within 100 yards of us and makes a huge racket, it will help the show. All right, Kevin, we're going to let you go.
Okay.
No, actually,
you can't
he's
hear
going to
me
finish
anyway.
the show. Yeah. We're going to let us go.
Yeah, we're going to go.
All right. right, guys. I'll talk to you next week. Have an awesome weekend.
Thank you, Kevin.
Keep your heads down. Keep your heads down.
Yeah, right. Okay, see ya. It's Kevin Graham. All right, the plane's 250 yards away. I feel better now. Whew, I know. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. David Locke is talking Jazz next. Making a little news with camp about to open. Players who are staying, players who are not staying, players who are not getting an extension. Maybe, at least for a while. We'll talk with David about that coming up. Stay with us.